What factors has attributed to the strong performance over the last 12 years for you guys? For the last 12 months for you guys?
I think it's really a couple of things. One is that we actually had to change the strategy of the business quite a bit in 2022. So in 2022, interest rate environment changed in the US. We went from kind of a prolonged period of low interest rates that, there was a brief pause where the Fed started tightening a little bit in 2019, but that was quickly interrupted by COVID, and we entered sort of like the largest money printing era in recent history by several metrics. And then the recovery of COVID led to sort of like the highest interest rates and the biggest monetary tightening that we had seen in 3 decades or more. So basically what happens is when interest rates are high, people are less interested in investing. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, if you have the ability to receive 5% risk-free on your cash, less of your money is going to go towards the stock market because that cash interest, which is risk-free, is much more attractive. The other thing is other people are also doing this analysis. And so you tend to get equity multiples dropping and equity prices decreasing. And so that's why in 2022, you saw the major indices take a big hit. And that also kind of makes people less likely to want to invest. And so we saw all of that. And our business had really been geared towards getting lots and lots of new investors who were interested in the markets, getting them into the markets for the first time. And we had to change that. Now, the good part is any new environment does present new opportunities which didn't exist before. And in this particular case, what happened was high yield savings products became attractive. And the banks were really slow to catch up there because the banks were protecting their own bottom lines. And they had been used to paying 0% interest in customer checking and savings accounts. And that was kind of a key part of the model. And so we saw an opportunity to come up with a product that gives as much of that interest back to customers as possible. And that became the foundation of our Robinhood Gold product. So we gave customers a really high yield, one of the most competitive yields on the market, which right now is 5% or more for our customers. And you give the high FDIC insurance up to $2.25 million of protection, more than you can get at any one bank. And that became the foundation of Gold, which is a subscription offering. And then it's obviously great for customers because they can get this high risk-free rate, but it's also great for our business because by growing this offering, we grew the Gold business. And the Gold business is a subscription kind of recurring revenue stream that is sort of decoupled from trading revenue, which had been sort of like the biggest part of our business and moved up and down with the volatility of the markets. So that happened in fall of 2022. Then we launched retirement. Retirement's been going very, very well. And that is also less subject to fluctuations in the markets, because when people think about their retirement, they're really thinking with a 30-year time horizon or more. And so money that goes into retirement accounts tends to stay there, and it's sort of a different mental calculus. It's less customers thinking about trading. That product has done well, and of course, the credit card, which hopefully you guys have seen. I have one with me that I can show you if you would like. That's been resonating, and it's really just the beginning. And kind of the past three months or so, we've seen a resurgence in equity markets as well, and we've been kind of improving those capabilities the entire time too. So really, that's just the business strategy has changed. The company has had to adapt. We took advantage of the new environment that we're in. And I think the strategy is finally beginning to resonate with more and more public investors. And that's what you're seeing in the stock market.
I think you were unfairly criticized for making investing fun and democratized for new investors. But as an entrepreneur, how do you create new innovative products and methods, but prevent those attacks from coming? Because at the time when you guys were doing that, TD wasn't easy to use, wasn't fun to use. Can you talk to us, like, how do you avoid being vilified while innovating in this space, which is really conservative?
Yeah, I don't think I figured it out yet, to be clear. I think that, we're going to get our fair share of criticism, and some of it's fair. I think these are really important issues, and we have to make sure that when we give people powerful financial tools, be it trading, investing, or even consumer credit, each of these have the potential to be abused, and there have been problems with them being abused by certain people in society. And so we have to, we actually should be held to a higher standard of scrutiny, and we need to have answers to those questions. So I think that rather than trying to kind of like avoid the question, my approach has been to kind of lean in and kind of hear the criticism and see in some cases whether there's improvements we can make to the product to address the kernel of it that may be true. Because in all of this criticism, it's not all baseless. I mean, there are people that trade irresponsibly, and there's also people that jump on a bandwagon and just trade something because others are doing it. And we want to make sure that while we strongly believe people have the right to do whatever they want with their money, that they have all of the information they need to make the decisions that they want to make. So at least they're going in eyes wide open.
Yeah. I mean, the last time we spoke, one of the key components that you said of adding to the product was the educational piece. It was one of the things you said that we realized during that craze in 2021 that may have been a little bit absent. So even last week when we're talking about meme stocks again, it didn't feel like Robinhood was in the news because you guys have made those improvements. Talk about that educational process and adding that to the product and how you guys have made that at the forefront of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe it doesn't go as much into like the meme stock frenzy that we saw last week, because my experience is these folks that are interested in the meme stocks know what they're doing. By and large, they're doing a very specific thing, and they want to make that trade. And we have multiple groups of people that we try to serve with Robinhood. One is active traders, and a big part of our strategy is to be number one in the active trader market. It's an important market for us. It is generating a decent chunk of the firm's revenue, and right now we're number two behind the TD Schwab combined entity, but we have a path to number one, and that's kind of one core component of what we're doing. We also want to grow wallet share with customers, and we're building Robinhood, and we see potential that this is working because customers are asking us to do more with Robinhood. They love the product so much that they don't want to just use it for their investing. They've shown that they want to use it for retirement. They want to move their spend to it, and that's why we rolled out the credit card. And in the future, we see Robinhood being the place where, for our customers, all of their assets are held at Robinhood. All of their transactions go through Robinhood, and that's kind of what we're building. Kind of the third thing is going international. Right now, we're largely in the US. We just launched in the UK and in the European Union for crypto a few months ago. But there's billions of people out there that don't have access to these great tools, and we want to make sure they're available to everyone. And kind of the way that I've been thinking about it is, you can ask, like, how can the same company offer you options trading and things like futures, which are these like extremely sophisticated products for traders, while also offering you retirement? And the way that I think about it is, our active trader products are almost like if we were like a auto manufacturer like Mercedes. There's the F1 AMG division, which is responsible for building high performance products, and they might be for a niche audience. They're not mass market products, but there's a small section of the population that really cares about performance and wants to be at the forefront in innovation in automotive. And so they're building for them. And on the other side, they're selling minivans and SUVs to the mass market. And so I think it is possible for Robinhood as one brand to serve active traders. And these are the folks that want to be at the forefront of innovation in financial markets and also care about performance and speed and tooling. And we're building for them. But we also think this can be a product that can serve the serious money of millions and millions of people and be very mass market. And we believe we can do that with the same brand.